30 questions. 3 rounds. 7 seconds each. Let's climb. Question 1. What did God create on the first day? Light. God said, "Let there be light." Question 2. Who did God tell to make a ship of gopher wood before the flood? Noah. God told him to make the flood ship. Question 3. What sign did God set in the clouds after the flood? The rainbow. It was the covenant sign in the clouds. Question 4. Whom did God send to bring the Israelites out of Egypt? Moses. God sent him to Pharaoh. Question 5. What did Israel call the bread-like food provided in the wilderness? Manna. Israel used that name for the wilderness bread. Question 6. Who defeated Goliath with a sling and a stone? David. He defeated Goliath with a sling and a stone. Question 7. Which prophet was swallowed by a huge fish? Jonah. The web says a huge fish swallowed him. Question 8. Which prophet was cast into a den of lions? Daniel. The king had him cast into the lion's den. Question 9. In which town was Jesus born? Bethlehem. Matthew says Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea. Question 10. Who baptized Jesus in the Jordan? John the Baptizer. Jesus came to him at the Jordan. Round 2. Medium. 10 down. Keep your score. The climb gets steeper. Question 11. What new name did God give Sarai? Sarah. God changed her name from Sarai. Question 12. Who interpreted Pharaoh's dreams about years of plenty and famine? Joseph. He explained the years of plenty and famine. Question 13. Which disciple stepped from the boat and walked toward Jesus on the water? Peter. He stepped out of the boat and walked toward Jesus. Question 14. How many disciples did Jesus choose and name apostles? "12. Jesus named those 12 disciples apostles. Question 15. Which disciple said, "My Lord and my God," after seeing Jesus alive? Thomas. He answered, "My Lord and my God." Question 16. Whose field did Ruth happen to glean in? Boaz. Ruth happened to glean in the part of the field that belonged to him. Question 17. How many men remained in Gideon's army after Yahweh reduced it? "300. Yahweh said he would save Israel through those 300 men. Question 18. On which mountain did Elijah gather the prophets of Baal for his challenge? Mount Carmel. That is where Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal. Question 19. Who was counted with the 11 apostles after Judas's place was filled? Matthias. The lot fell on him, and he joined the 11 apostles. Question 20. What trade did Lydia, a woman from Thyatira, practice? Selling purple goods. Lydia was a seller of purple from Thyatira. Final round. Hard. 20 down. 10 questions remain. Question 21. Which judge struck down 600 Philistines with an ox goad? Shamgar. He struck 600 Philistines with an ox goad. Question 22. Which prophetess was consulted after the book of the law was found under Josiah? Huldah. Josiah's officials went to her to inquire of Yahweh. Question 23. Which prophet was shown a basket of summer fruit? Amos. He was shown a basket of summer fruit as a sign for Israel. Question 24. Which prophet saw a flying scroll in a vision? Zechariah. He looked up and saw a flying scroll. Question 25. Who fell from a third-floor window while Paul spoke late into the night? Eutychus. He fell from the third floor after being overcome by sleep. Question 26. Who knew only John's baptism before Priscilla and Aquila taught him more accurately? Apollos. Priscilla and Aquila explained God's way to him more accurately. Question 27. Which prophet predicted a great famine during Claudius's reign? Agabus. He predicted a great famine during the reign of Claudius. Question 28. At whose feet did Paul say he was educated in Jerusalem? Gamaliel. Paul said he was educated at his feet in Jerusalem. Question 29. How many people were aboard Paul's ship before the wreck? $276. Everyone aboard reached land safely. Question 30. Which companion left Paul because he loved the present world? Demas. Paul says he left because he loved the present world. How many did you get out of 30? Comment your score and choose the next round, miracles or people.